automation game, kind of inspired by things like Satisfactory and Noita. It's also published by Horsehead Games, who published one of my favorite city builders roguelikes from last year, Against the Storm. Seems like it should be right up my alley, so let's start the demo, dive in, and see what it's got to offer. Okay, WASD to move and boost. I have a jump as well. Use the mouse to dig. Okay. Look for soft materials like grass or dirt. All right. Press 2 to select the grabber. Click, hold, and drag to pick up sand. Oh, I have to continue holding it. Okay. Drop dry sand in water. Pick up wet sand and shake it. Move mouse back and forth outside of water. Okay. Put gold in cell box. So let me collect up the slag here. Move that. And then grab the gold. And put it in the cell box. Okay. Interesting. So it actually holds on to the gold for you if you're careful. All right, so we're going to need more sand. Let's grab what's left. Drop it in the water. Maybe grab a little bit more here. Drop that in the water as well. There's sand soil here. I think I have to be on the ground. No, I can't mine this right now. Okay. So I can mine this grass though, right? Oh, I have to switch to the right, I have to switch to the tool to mine. So I should be able to actually mine here. So what happens if I dig through? Does this rock fall? No. Okay. Switch to the grabber. More sand. Grabber. More sand. Grabber. More sand. Okay, so we'll make a bunch of wet sand. Basically all the sand we can get. Okay, now we'll take our grabber. Grab as much wet sand as we can get. Shake out a bunch of slag. Deposit the gold. So we're making a lot of gold and a lot of slag, right? Wet sand. Shake out the slag, deposit the gold. Shake out the slag, deposit the gold. Shake out the slag, deposit the gold. Okay, looks like the next step is to open up the tech tree. Select the tech, refining. We have shovel, grabber. Okay, so this is a quick way to grab instead of the hotkeys. All right. Building. We have block, collector, demolishing marquee. We have research and we have upgrades. All right. So refining 1 costs $20. We have 51. Unlock shakers that can separate gold and slag from wet sand. Build diagonally. Build diagonally and drop wet sand on it. All right, let's research that. So now... shaker. That's already on 3. Okay, build shakers. Let me come over here and start maybe building over here. All right, so It said build diagonally. I'm not sure why you would do that. Okay. Switch back to the grabber here. Get some wet sand. Drop it on the shakers. Oh, it is working. Okay. So then, if I switch to building and get a block, let's build a little collection area here. Right? And then switch back to the grabber. Put all our wet sand up here. Okay, and then, so we do need to get rid of all this slag somehow. Yeah, it's pixel based, so wherever the very point of the mouse is, that's where you're gonna indicate what you're picking up, I guess. Let's throw some more sand on here. But a goodly amount of wet sand, it looks like. And then this is going to be slag. Okay, let's clear that out. So we need a way to remove the slag, but we do have a pretty decent way to automate the gold collection here, which I like. So let's pick up all the gold, deposit that. So we're at 56. A full block is 23. Okay. We've almost filled up our thing here. There's the rest of the gold. Okay, so we got a bunch of money now. Let's go to the research tree. Logistics unlocks conveyor belts and launchers. Let's research that. You've completed the tutorial. Next, follow the objectives. See shortcuts. These adapt depending on the action. Tip: hovering in the air makes you phase through structures. Oh, okay. All right. So we've got a lot of slag that we need to get rid of somehow. We go to building. We have blocks, collectors, shaker, conveyor belt, launcher. Will launch elements upward, straight, or to the sides. You can build a column of launchers to create a vertical conveyor lift. Demolisher, remove structures. Marquee, tool that can be used to move or copy structures. Okay, so we don't have much to do with our slag yet. Upgrades, research. Okay, so we need 500 to get to guns. So what do we want to, how do we want to do this? There's also this interesting thing over here. What is this? What is this? I don't know. All right. So there's soil here, soil and water here. Is there a better location for us to set up? Because I can build one of these things to collect elsewhere. I might be better off experimenting over here. So getting our hands on the sand would be the tricky part, but... Alright, so... Demolisher, remove structures. Let's remove this. And try building something a little bit better. So let's see. So if we place our... I'm not sure why it said to... Not sure why it said to build diagonally, but it did say that. Let me go to options here. I think maybe the shaker noise is a little annoying. So let's turn that down. So we want to automate sand getting over here. and then dropping in there. Maybe we don't want to do this. Maybe we want to build our own collection block. So we can dig up a bunch of sand here. The problem is going to be all this slag, right? I don't have a differentiator. But we have a launcher. All right. Let's start by, where do I want to put all my slag? I want to dig up this sand. I want to launch it into the water. Then I want to launch from the water up to some sort of like collection area. Let's do this. Let's expand the size of this thing first. Like that. And then let's build more collectors. That looks good. Then we'll build some shakers. It did say to build horizontal or diagonally. Okay. I might need to just lock this in here. Like that. And then, so we're still going to have slag build up here. Let's have the slag kind of move this way. And then we'll make a little slag collection area here, I guess. So then we want, I think, conveyors, right? We want a conveyor belt to kind of move the sand this way. Hang on. Were these conveyors? I might have built the wrong thing. Yeah, I did build the wrong thing. I want shakers here, so that's, yeah, 3. Now we want conveyors. What is this? Conveyor belt and launcher. Yeah, now we want conveyors. I might want them going this way. Yeah, okay. And then I'm assuming we had a big pile of wet sand here. I guess I don't need that much. I just need to make sure that the launchers can get there. So there's the, I might want one more here. Not sure if I built that right either. Let me try that again. We'll go one higher here. And then we'll add another conveyor belt. So if there's a bunch of wet sand here, I don't know about that. If there's a bunch of wet sand here, it should push it up and onto this, right? Okay, so now we want to get sand and move it here. I guess I could do this part manually. That's certainly a fair amount of sand. Let's go to the grabber. Let's just start popping sand here. We'll see if this all works. Okay, this appears to be working as intended. All right, let's go back down in here. I guess we can do it from here, right? So we'll just our job. We're about moving the sand and digging out sand and getting more sand. I guess I got slag to worry about. Let's move some of the slag out of the way. I don't have a place to put it. I don't know what this is, but it feels like I shouldn't necessarily. Yeah, let's keep moving the slag over there for now. We'll have a big ass pile of slag over there. I'm assuming there's another use for this later. There's sand. More sand. Oh, that's interesting. The okay. More slag. All right. So now we have the problem that there's too much slag here. So we got to clear out some of the slag, it looks like. Yeah, the targeting is kind of interesting. You kind of have to find a spot to target it easily and then pick up the rest. I would love to have a way to do something with the slag other than just let it pile up on top of everything, you know? So we do, like, we're still, even though we've kind of automated to a degree, we're still kind of stuck doing a lot of manual work here until we find some way to, like, to separate one type of item from another. Okay, this has also kind of died, so we need to kind of, like, move it over. Are we, like, running out of water here? Okay, just pile up all the wet sand for now. What are we at? We're at $138. Okay. Keep moving out the slag. It doesn't feel like it's going all that fast. I guess I can help out here, right? With some more wet sand. We're going to need to dig more soon. We do need to worry about slag too. So hopefully we can build something better than this at some point. But I get the idea behind the automation, right? It's like set things up so that some work is done for you. That's like the ultimate goal of automation games, right? Got some wet sand here we can kind of pop on the top. See, things are like, yeah, it's not really, the conveyor belt doesn't seem to be working that well. It's not really moving the sand the way I want it to. Not well enough. I think we are running out of water here. I think the making wet sand is consuming it. Huh. Yeah, the slag's a bit of a problem, isn't it? It kind of gums up the works here. It stops it from working the way it's supposed to. Oh, and interestingly, the gold can be a problem too, if it doesn't fall where you want it to. So I don't know how much faster this was than just doing everything manually, to be honest. Like, a little bit? Got this massive pile of slag now. I don't know what we're going to do with that. We do need more, I mean, we need more water too. But we also need more sand. I guess if I dig in the water, it'll auto turn into wet sand, right? And maybe reveal more water? Maybe not. All right, let's grab regular sand here. Move it over here. Okay. I guess we grab, yeah, this is not, it's not working. The automation isn't that good. So, I mean, we are at the start of the demo, so I guess that's to be expected. I feel like I could have gone faster if I just did a lot of this myself, instead of setting up all this automation and trying to make that work. The biggest problem is the remaining slag doesn't kind of fall off here. So maybe I'm building this wrong. It just kind of sits there on top of the shakers, you know? We're also out of water here. Okay. Well, let's shut all of this down. And let's move over here and try again. We do have $272 to work with. There's quite a bit more water here. Now, I wonder if you can move water with, like... Can you move water? Perhaps. I also don't know what these bedrock, like it looks like some sort of a structure, but I can't dig into it. Okay, well, the good news is there's lots of water, so I can grab this and move it if I wanted to. I mean, I think the obvious thing to do here is just throw a bunch of sand into this water and then start filtering it. There's also this tunnel. That's kind of interesting. I can't actually get in here. Okay. So move the sand. Get some wet sand. Like I kind of have to do everything manually right now. Let me just manually acquire tons and tons of sand here. We want a pile like that size of wet sand if we can get it. It's kind of hard to, you have to be real close to whatever you're trying to break open. I guess that's a way to do it a little bit faster. Go down, right, left, down, right, left, down, right, left, like that. That's kind of okay. I'm getting a decent amount of sand here. So then I could theoretically automate moving the sand, but it's ultimately gonna be faster to just do it manually for now, I feel like. Like there's a part of this that should be automated. Get the grabber here, just move all this sand. It will take a minute, but this is still faster than automating, I think. Gets me a ton of wet sand that I can shake for gold. And then I think I just manually shake the gold as well. Or rather, no, the problem is going to be all of the slag that we get. Okay, you can't, somehow I can't pick up this water now. It's stuck there. So I'm just going to keep moving the sand for now. And then we'll have to like set up a bunch of shakers and manually deal with... I could experiment with the shakers a little bit. See if there's a better way I can build it so that it automatically gets rid of some of the slag for me. Oh, that's what happened. I raised the water of the level. That's why that filled in there. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, the sand displaces the water. So there is like a physics engine going on here. It's pixel based, but there's definitely a like a pixel or rather a physics engine making some decisions about the world as I modify it. Grab up the last little bits of sand here. Okay, so now we got a bunch of wet sand. And the question becomes, what is the right way to build in order to dispose of the slag efficiently? You know what I mean? So we can build something that lifts the sand up and then pushes it onto, you know, We could do the vertical thing again, I guess. It didn't work that well last time, though, because all the slag ended up sitting on top. Not sure how to deal with that. How else could we build to get rid of the slag? We could use this thing as a hole for the slag. Problem is yeah, well. Okay, let's try that. Let's go ahead and let's build our gold collector. Like, maybe like this. And then... Why is that not building there? Oh, do I have a little... I have some grass? Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, so our gold collector goes here. And then we'll put our shakers so that they... drop into this. And we'll put our block here. And then we'll want a conveyor to just bring the sand over, right? Well, it's doing some weird stuff here. For some reason, it won't go left and right. It'll go diagonal. Oh, that's the elevator. That's why. Okay. So I want... Is there like a... Oh, there's a hotkey. Shift can reverse. Okay. So we can do that. That'll move it this way. I think I need to get rid of this. And then put one... I'm not sure that's right. I think that's right. And then we bring all the sand up from the base with the elevators. Okay. So it looks like I... That looks right. And then I do this. Okay, that's going to start pushing this onto the... Oh, it's the wrong way. Okay. That's the wrong way as well. How do I... How do I get this to build the way I want? So shift... Maybe left mouse button, alt... Oh, I just had to move... Okay, I just had to move the... There we go. Okay. These guys are moving it correctly now. Okay, so now it should go all onto the shaker. And then the slag hopefully falls off. This thing's wrong. So I need another... dealio like that. Okay. Seems like I can't build the... This is the conveyor belt, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm having trouble. There we go. Okay. So that'll push everything onto... Or it should. It's having... It seems like it's having trouble pushing it. Because these won't move, I guess? So this needs to be what? Higher? Or this needs to be lower? Alright, let me move the shakers down. That's 3. So we move the shakers down. And then we Put in the block. Man, this takes quite a bit of work. All right. There we go. All right. So I think, okay, now that I think the slag is falling off, I think we're also getting some lossage of wet sand. But I think we can go down here and yeah, we can separate that and manually move it around. Okay, so this actually looks like this finally looks like it could work. Okay. This is looking quite a bit better. So we'll see how quickly this fills up here. We're now actually making money. Chewing through all that wet sand. Yeah, this I think is feasible. So there's still manual work that has to be done here, but it does seem much better than what we had before. So you have to have kind of like a river of wet sand going over the shakers and letting the slag fall off. But the benefit is that its uptime is much more consistent. And then the next problem is we're not collecting enough gold because this isn't high enough. All right, so let me do this. Let me stop this for a second. Because we want it to go higher and we want more collection blocks here. Right? So we're going to want more blocks this way. We're going to want to destroy these. We're going to want to put more of the collector blocks in. We're going to want to destroy all of this. We're going to want more of the shakers going up to there. Right? Maybe even one higher. And then we want to destroy this. We want to get an elevator going that comes like that. Then we finish connecting that. That looks right. Okay. So that should give us quite a bit of gold throughput, I would think. Okay, so the next problem is we've closed off in here. So I think I can fix this with more conveyor belts. So like if I do this and then this, I think that'll work. And now I just have to like move the sand so it has a place to build. Can I? Yeah, there we go. I think I got one piece going. Yeah, okay. There we go. So as long as I remove the items that are blocking it from building, it'll actually put in the escalator or the conveyor belt here. We'll start moving that sand where it's supposed to be. Well, to some degree. It looks like it can't quite build that last one. You can get some of it happening. Oh, there's an artifact here. I don't know how to dig through bedrock yet, but if I can make that happen, that would be good. Okay, so I can't quite place that. Yeah, okay. There's still some good value here, it looks like, in having these. I think I need... Now I need 3 going like... Oh, that's... Now I need them going this way, right? And then I clear this out. Okay, there's still bedrock there that I can't work with. So that's kind of the best I could do for that. I guess I could do one this way. Yeah. Okay, so I can kind of like build this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and do this as much as we can. It's kind of annoying you can't drop the wet sound underground. I can't do this one. I can maybe do that one. No, can't do that one either. Okay. So we're out of sand now. We need more sand. We've also built up a nice stock of gold here. Wow, yeah, that actually went really fast. Okay, we've also built up an insane amount of slag. So I did learn some things here. I guess we need to go do some research now. Let's... Like, it seems like I have no choice but to unlock guns. Okay. So filter sounds nice. What does this do? Unlocks filters that work like conveyor belts but can allow certain elements to pass through. Refining 2 unlocks kinetic slag press to further process burnt slag into more gold. Tools unlocks flamethrower to burn slag. Melt ice and vaporize water into steam that rises and becomes rain. I like the idea of burning slag. I also like the idea of filters. I think I can afford both. Yeah, I can afford both. So let me start by getting myself this flamethrower. Is that... Flamethrower? Okay. So what happens if I use this flamethrower on the slag? It starts burning it off? Okay. And it has a byproduct, right? It produces this burnt slag material. So even if it like... even if it doesn't completely remove it, as long as it like shrinks it down and makes a new byproduct, that's fine. Like, yeah, look at this. I'm getting rid of quite a lot of this slag. And it turns it into the burnt slag, which is going to be easier to deal with. And I don't know what else to do with the burnt slag, but we can at least move it around. Yeah, we can shrink it down and move stuff around. Let's burn the rest of this slag. Yeah, that's much more manageable. It looks like it reduces it by about 3/4. Yeah, it reduces it by quite a lot. I like that. Okay, we've got... Yeah, there's a little bit more regular slag in here. We can burn off the rest of it, it looks like. I don't know if we're putting, like, pollution into the atmosphere or what, but I'm fine with it. Okay, so this is our mine for sand, so we need to move this... We need to move all this burnt slag somewhere. I don't have a great place to put it. I guess I can build a corral for it. And burn all this slag, too. Yeah, I should build a little silo for all my slag, right? Or my burnt slag. So... Let's get some blocks going. And let's just do something like this. Maybe even a little bit... Hang on. Even a little bit wider than that. We can just make this whole area burnt slag town. That's fine. Do I need to dig into this? Hang on. Guess I need to dig into this a little bit. And then clear it out. There we go. Okay. All right, so here's my burnt slag repository for now. Let's go collect up as much burnt slag as we can. Now here we could maybe use filters to automatically filter out the burnt slag so that all we have in here is sand or wet sand. Let's look at that. So I need to, I think, research filters. So filters out element based on filter settings. The filtered element goes through while the rest gets transported as usual. Okay, so does this act as an elevator? Or I think it's more of a conveyor belt. Yeah, it looks like it's more of a conveyor belt. Okay, so what we can do is have a conveyor belt here that moves the burnt slag along, right? So we'll do something like this. I think I need to reselect it. Shovel, grabber, gun, flamethrower, building, filter. All right, we want to block selected element, allow everything else through, right? So we block burnt slag so that it travels into the slag pit. Everything else falls through. And that stuff we want to dump, that's mostly going to be regular sand, so everything else we want to go into the water. So I actually need to build this a little bit higher. Hold on. So then a regular conveyor... Nope. A regular conveyor. We want to dump everything into the water. So a regular conveyor should go like here. Now, hold on. Yeah, regular conveyor should go there. Oops. And then we need if we're going to pull up from there, hold on. If we pull up from here, we'll need a second regular conveyor. How is this going to work? Because I need it to fall through onto this and then go that way. So everything has to come up here. And then, okay, well, yeah. So, yeah, we want to pull from here. So we're going to come up like here-ish. We want to spit it onto the filter. Okay, I think I've got it now. So we go and we grab our filter. Block burnt slag. Right? Everything else falls through onto this and goes where it's supposed to. Then we have a little elevator for the burnt slag. Launcher. A launcher here. And that spits onto a regular conveyor, which takes it back over and drops it into the pit. So the last thing I need is a regular lift here that lifts everything up and puts it onto this shaker belt. And then we'll see if that works. Okay. So I need another... Yeah, I need another launcher here. Like that. So that pushes everything up, right? Burnt slag moves along. Let me double check what we got here. That's burnt slag. Oh, I did this wrong. Hold on. Hold on. Now, why did some of it fall? No, that was right. Why did some of it fall here? Some of it is just kind of falling out. It looks like, I guess it's bouncing off there. See, now this I don't want. I don't want burnt slag down here. So how is it getting there? I guess that's too close. It's not able to fling everything it needs to. Yeah, that's probably the problem. All right. So this needs to be higher. And then we need a normal conveyor belt. Taking the stuff over here, right? Now, some of it's not properly... All right, let me build a container here. Because some of it's not properly working the way it's supposed to. You're not supposed to be like that. Launcher goes like this. Nope. Where's the launcher? Okay, that's gonna move the burnt slag. Okay, this is starting to work now. Yeah, this looks good. Okay. I think this is starting to work the way I want. So it's gonna move it's gonna move all the burnt slag into the slag container, I think. I might just make this a little bit safer like that. Just to kind of force it all to fall in there. Okay, so that should all be burnt slag, and then the stuff down here is regular slag and dirt and sand and what have you, right? Okay, so this extraction platform should get rid of the burnt slag. We have other problems right now, but we're making progress, I think. Okay, let's start by digging out some sand here. Yeah, we'll get some more sand going. This will get lifted up and into the water for us, or it should, along with a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna need to do quite a lot of digging. Oh, there's water there? You know what? I'll take it. Now, I did get a gun, right? Is that a better digging tool? Gun, a long distance mining tool. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's much better. It's a little bit slower, but I can make it work. So we still can't get through bedrock, but we can dig out all this soil. That gives us a big amount of soil to work with. Now I'm gonna have to build another set of conveyors to move this over to the launcher here. I also need to remember to come in and burn the slag as it builds up, right? Like I'm not going to have any burnt slag to get filtered out unless I come and burn the normal slag that's coming in. This definitely feels better than manual mining. It is a little bit slower, I think, but I can just hold in place and move the cursor. It's kind of like Power Wash Simulator. Okay, that's a big chunk of sand. So let's now see about moving everything over here. We can start the easy way, I think. We can just get a conveyor belt and do this. Right, so then I have the problem of everything's in the way. Man, that's annoying. Okay, so you kind of have to think ahead here a little bit. You can't drop unless you move things out of like another item. Like I can't drop here. I have to move out into empty space to drop. It looks like that's kind of the end of that. We gotta cancel this. We gotta now build... Well, how would this work? I guess the next thing to do would be to get a launcher here up to like there, and then another conveyor belt. Oh, that's wrong. It has to be underneath that. Conveyor belt here, right? That sort of works. Okay, that should move a lot of this sand up through this process here. It feels like... Maybe I can improve the behavior by just blocking this a little bit. That'll maybe get more stuff in there. This is supposed to be launching stuff. These are supposed to be launching stuff. So this should move this whole pile over there. All right. And then we're building up slag here too. Let me switch to 7. Let's burn the slag. I guess I need to probably delete at least these blocks. Well, no, that one was doing good work. Right there. Yeah, okay. It doesn't feel like it moves all that much, if you know what I mean. Guess we burn more slag here. Oh, looks like we got a problem over in the water now. Let me go check that out. We are slowly building up some gold here. All right, so what is the problem here? We've got a bunch of slag. I don't know why the water's lumping up like this. Not quite sure about that. Let's grab the burnt slag. Got more regular slag here. Okay, that appears to have fixed the problem. So sand is falling in, wet sand is going up. We're not using these, unfortunately, correctly, so let me try to block some of the throw from the lifter. Like that. That seems a little bit better. Yeah, now we've got, okay, now we've got stuff going all along here. Okay, this appears to be working correctly now. It looks like there's a weird distribution pattern here though. These are not getting any sand. They're completely covered with slag right now. It is slowly falling off and down in. So part of the problem is things aren't getting burnt correctly, I guess. Yeah, part of the problem is that things aren't getting burnt correctly. So I could like sit here and do this, right? This should break up. You can burn off some of the slag. It'll go through the whole cycle. It'd be nice if there was an automated flamethrower I could use to bake the slag as it came off by myself. The other thing I can do is go look for slag in here. So part of my solution is working in that what slag does make it through is getting properly filtered over here. That looks correct. I have run out of sand, however. So I need another... Let's see. I need to dig down, and I need to get more conveyors over here. Gun. Oh, no, that's interesting. Now, what is this over here? I don't know what that is. All right, for now, I can build a conveyor that'll lift some of this up and have it continue the process. Let's do that. And I can do a little bit more like this, I think. No, that's not going to work. I can just move this over onto this pile, I guess. That's not going to work either. Okay, well, some sand will go up for now. The movement's kind of slow, which is a little annoying. Yeah, so the problem now is that I'm not burning the slag. So it's not getting filtered out properly. I need like an automated flamethrower. The other thing I could do is try to find a way to dig towards that artifact to find out what that's about. We got $500. What other research do we have? We need 1,000, 2,000. Tools 2 unlocks vacuum to move piles of sand. It's kind of interesting. What is this? Okay. For some reason, fire is working here. Oh, there's like a... Wow, there's like a liquid... Some sort of liquid, like... device here. What are we burning away here? I don't even know. Okay, so this is just sand, I guess? How do we get this artifact, man? I want to check this out. Yeah. Ancient ruins? Like, this is obviously constructed. Okay, we're digging through something here. Can I get to that artifact? Maybe? Yeah, it looks like it. Dig straight up here. So we can get through this purple stuff, whatever it is. Do I have to dig it out? Is that what's happening? It says find artifacts, 0 of 2 objectives, but now that I'm here, I can't seem to do anything with it. What are we getting here? Is there some kind of... There's some kind of purple... Yeah, there's fluxite. Hold on. It keeps giving me the sand. I want the fluxite. Alright, I might have to empty out this sand in order to access this fluxite stuff. Move all the sand into the water for now. Can I pick up the fluxite now? Okay. It's not letting me pick it up for some reason. Like, there's a big pile of it here. Oh, hold on. I think I have to reveal this. Hold on. So it's largely revealed now, whatever it is. See, there's a little piece of fluxite here that I don't seem to be able to pick up. Is that a direction? Maybe that's meant to be a direction. Like, it's pointing, there's an arrow pointing down there. There is this thing. Is this just a, maybe this is not, that's bedrock, right? So maybe this isn't the artifact itself. Maybe this is just a pointer that I'm close to the artifact. So let me follow the direction here and see what this does. Oh, there's another arrow. Yeah. Okay. So we get here, then we go right. I see another arrow here. There's an X there. What is that? That's just an X? Okay, let's follow the arrow then. That's pointing to the right. What is this? Flamethrower? Does nothing. Snow? What? Crackstone. What the hell is crackstone? Does my gun work on crackstone? My gun does not appear to work on crackstone. Maybe I can go around to the other side? Also, it's kind of wild that there's snow here. Underground. No, there's bedrock blocking me. So how do I get through crackstone? I probably have to research something to get through that. What would I research? Filters 1, refining, kinetic slag, pipes, guns 2, maybe? Tools 2, vacuum, lights, filters. Tools 3, drones. Maybe unlock refining 2, upgrade grabber. Oh, there's an upgrade now. Hold on. This unlocked. I got... Oh, you know what? I picked up 500 of this... I did pick up some of this stuff, whatever it's called. Okay, I didn't understand that. So tools, grabber. Material scanner shows more information about materials when hovering. Hydro sponge, pick up water, above ground only. Jetpack, increases flight and movement speed. Flamethrower, extended range. Weapons. Quick dig reduces digging cooldown. Rapid fire increases firing rate. This is on the gun. Triple burst increases bullets per shot. Well, I don't think any of this gets me through the crackstone. I guess we'll grab the material scanner. That brings us down to 400. The rest of this is pretty expensive too. Okay. So it still wants me to find artifacts. It says I need to unlock refining too. So at the moment we're quite limited in what we can do with these artifacts. Hold on, what was this over here? Is this more of this fluxite stuff? Yeah, that's pumping up my fluxite. Okay. So that just turns into magic gas, I guess. I see. So you don't pick up fluxite, you mine it. Where's the gun? I can get a little bit further here with the gun. What did that get me to? 790? Okay, I sort of understand. I sort of understand a little bit better now. If we see fluxite, we want to destroy it for money or for upgrade mana. I guess calling it mana is the best I can come up with here. I don't understand what to make of the rest of this area. Like all the water and stuff. It looks like a machine. It looks like it's supposed to be some sort of machine, but I don't know how to... Yeah, see, this thing cracks open at the top. I did think there was something here. There's another one of these over here. Oh, look at all this money. Holy shit. Okay. I guess this is still working, technically. Maybe I should add some more collectors here. All right. Actually, yeah, we should be as close as we can to the shakers, right? Just get as much money as we can. I probably have a problem right now with, yeah, I am not, I'm not burning off, and there's no sand. So this slag is just continually going through the cycle. If we burn it, it should get filtered out. But we have no more sand going into the machine right now. We do have $800. So I could buy something. Let me burn some of this slag for a minute. Yeah, we have no sand. That's the biggest problem. Okay. So, how am I going to fix this? I guess I want some conveyor belts here, right? I want something like this. That'll get me a few. That'll give me a little bit more sand going on. For a while. That's not really good enough. This is ice. So this interacts with fire. This is fluxite. Okay, so I can get more fluxite gas by beating this up. All right, I didn't fully understand what I was dealing with the first time here. There's a few more pixels of the fluxite lying around. Yeah, it's a pixel perfect thing. All right, so what is this? Is that more bedrock that I just can't get through? Okay. I can give myself a little bit of, you know, a little bit to work with by doing this, just manually moving some sand around for a bit. I wonder if there's like an upgrade to get more sand or a bigger grabber. I do have 1,900 here. Let's take a look at what we can buy. So for research, I can get refining 2. Unlocks the kinetic slag press to further process burnt slag into more gold. We do have that. Vacuum moves piles of sand. That might actually be better for me for right now. And then what about upgrades? I've got 1,000 right now. I can pick up water above ground. I don't think that helps me. Extend the range. Quick dig, rapid fire, triple burst. I think triple burst is probably the way to go. All right, so now how do I use the vacuum? That's going to be 9, right? So how does this work to move piles of sand? Is that the vacuum? How does it work? Tab, vacuum. Okay. So looks like he's. Oh, is it just a air thrower? Oh, it doesn't actually. Wait, do I want to? Maybe I want to right mouse? No, it's just a. What's it called? What do you call those things that blow air to move leaves and stuff? It's just a leaf blower. Jesus, that took me way too long to figure out. So that doesn't really help. That's not really a vacuum. I guess it throws it behind me? I mean, I guess I understand. So if I... Okay, so hold on. If I aim it down, it'll flick stuff up? Yeah, it'll flick stuff up to a degree. All right, so I can sort of move stuff more easily left and right, but lifting it still requires something like that. In order to phase through buildings, I have to be hovering first. Okay, I need to burn off this slag, I guess. This whole contraption that I built doesn't work anymore because there's no sand. And it should be where it should be picking up. Yeah, there should be. So the problem is that this is covered in crap again. So I need to find a way to, okay, let me start. This should be generating gold for me, but it's got too much slag on it. So we need to, I think, manually clean it off. Oh man, that's annoying. I wish there was an automatable burner thing that you could buy. There probably is. I just don't know where it is in the tree right now. So I can burn the slag into burnt slag. We also have a way to turn all this burnt slag into stuff. I can manually clean this a little bit because it's not going fast enough for my liking. I wonder, yeah, I do wonder, it would be nice if there was some sort of way to automate the burning. There's got to be, right? There's got to be like an automatic burner, like automatic flamethrower type thing. Or I think I read in the previews that there's lava in the game somewhere. So if we could drop all of our slag onto a lava pool, that would work. For now, I really just got to burn it myself. We got to move it too. So I've learned quite a bit about how the game works now. There's some interesting ideas here. I feel like it's missing some quality of life stuff. I feel like the initial movement speed is a little bit slow too. I've got way too much slag gumming up my works here, and it's not being properly extracted. So, you know what I could do? Hold on. I've just realized I've made a mistake here. All right, so if I delete these, right, and then we put another filter here, which blocks slag, but lets everything else through, like this, and then we build another container for slag. Right? Now all the slag should go in here. And I can come by and burn it periodically. Right? And then we can just pop it onto this line and send it over to that. Yeah, so then we'll build a conveyor belt. No, a launcher. We'll build a launcher over here. And then we'll put another filter that only takes burnt slag. And send that over here. And then just once in a while, periodically we come by over here and burn up all the slag. Okay, that should fix my problems, right? There's still this going on. Like, I still have to kind of clear out some of this manually now. Oh, you know what else I realized? We could rebuild this with the filters too. We could rebuild this so that as stuff falls off, we filter out. Yeah, we could rebuild. We could build a better version of this. I see now. Yeah. We also want a conveyor belt down here. So all this should fall right back through, right back in, right? Because we haven't burned any of it yet. So this will just keep cycling the slag until we come and burn it. Okay. Now the next problem is we don't have any raw dirt. How am I going to get raw dirt into this contraption? Like, this is all bedrock that I can't dig through. I mean, I can do it this way. I can manually move it. I guess I kind of have to. Like, this is such a slow way to do it, though. I guess it does start... It does get the process working for me. It's just a really slow way to do it. I wish that vacuum worked differently. That we picked up. Yeah, this is really annoying. I wish there was a better way to do this. Like, I need to get all this sand in here. I need to look for another way to get onto this production chain from a different location where I can start digging and have a lot more raw sand. Because we got tons of water. Well, actually, we've used up quite a bit of the water. I need to move some of this water maybe from this artifact, this ruin, over into my big-ass pool. Distractix Prime, welcome back to the channel. You missed the first hour and a quarter. Please recap at an appropriate time. You got it. All right, so basically, you dig sand, you put it in water to make wet sand, and then you shake that to get gold. But you also get slag. The slag you can burn into burn slag, and then there's the thing you can do with that I haven't done yet. But the idea here behind what I've built is this contraption moves all the sand plus some of this extra stuff, the slag, onto this filtered conveyor belt, which allows everything except burnt slag through. So originally I was burning the slag manually down here. Now I'm burning it over here. So this actually doesn't serve that much of a purpose, except there's a couple pieces of burnt slag down there that can get moved that way. So we've got filters. The idea is that all the burnt slag's going over here. All the regular slag's coming over here for me to burn. This reduces its size and turns it into a new material that I can use. I have this flamethrower that I bought. And then over here... the sand here, so the slag gets pushed into here, but the sand drops into the water to become wet sand, and then gets moved up this and onto this shaker pile, which shakes the wet sand and gives me gold. So I'm like automating the collection of gold and automating the disposal of waste products, but it's a pretty janky system right now. It doesn't work that well for me. I've made a lot of beginner mistakes. I kind of need to rebuild this entire thing with a better system now that I understand how things work. The other thing I need to do is I just got... So I have $1,200. I just picked up a new thing called... Or did I not get that yet? Yeah, kinetic slag press. Okay, so we're going to take the kinetic slag press. Where is that? Kinetic slag press. Drop burnt slag on the kinetic slag press from a great height to refine it into gold and spores. So I'll get more gold, and now I'll get a new resource called spores from all of this, right? And then what do I do with spores? Presumably I combine it with more water that I don't have to get some sort of like fungus. Oh, that's interesting. The fire keeps burning here? Oh, now that's actually really cool. That's an interaction I was not aware of. So if enough of this slag drops while it's burning, maybe it's kind of automated here. No, it looks like the fire's about to run out. The other thing I haven't really done is explore. So there is this mountain that I haven't really looked at. I haven't been able to get through bedrock yet. I don't know if there's a way that I can. There's a lot of slow movement in this game. Like if I go all the way up here, am I going to find something interesting? Or is this just the edge of the map that I can't go past? Seems like you mostly want to dig down. No, I can't. Okay, invisible wall. Fine. There is also this bizarre, like, ruin that I found This is full of a different upgrade material. This purple stuff is a different upgrade material. I've mostly explored this, so we're not going to stick around here. I think the game wants me to find another artifact, or it wants me to find 2 artifacts, but I couldn't get through something called crackstone down here, so I couldn't get the first artifact. There was another entryway over here somewhere. I don't think I'm quite ready for spores yet. I think I need to build a brand new factory to redo this all. I need another source of water, that's for sure. There was ice down there that I possibly could have melted into water too. Yeah, so there's this. This is like the entrance to another one of these facilities. I just don't know where exactly I want to go to find it. And I think not there. Okay, let me get my gun out. Lottie's cave? What? Who is Lottie? Well, I've destroyed your cave, Lottie. Maybe that's the developer's cat? Yeah, the slow movement is killing me a little bit here. It looks like this is going to be another invisible wall. So I guess I dig around and try and find more ways to go. Like, that's all bedrock, so I'm not getting through any of that. Like, I need to find another path. I need to find another route right now over to that, like, second building on the left. So let me follow this for a bit and see where this takes me. Can't dig through any of that. Looks like we want to go left here. There is an arrow. Okay, I think this is our next path of exploration. Yeah, here we go. Okay. There we go. So there's another crazy, like, thing here. Oh, I can't jetpack there? Okay. That's weird. There's, like, ice here that I believed with the flamethrower I can turn into... Oh, what's happening there? So I have to drop the snow so I can walk on it? Yeah, that formed an ice bridge. Okay, I sort of get that. So my jetpack doesn't work in this area. We do have ice here. Yeah, it won't let me jetpack up to here for some reason. I can break through like this. So he's got the developer has these little mysteries in here. Okay, I acquired artifact Zorvix 22. What is that? What is that? What does that do for me? I have no idea. Maybe I missed something over at the other ruin. I do have the flamethrower. You cannot use the flamethrower here, so I can't burn the ice. I can only use the gun. And it won't let me go up there. Okay. I don't have a way to... There's some, like, materials that I can't dig through. I'm not sure what to do about. It's very narrow. And pixel perfect. Yeah, it's a pixel engine, so, like, everything is based on, like, pixels. It's very, precise. Can't get through that. Maybe the flamethrower? No, flamethrower doesn't do anything. I could unlock guns too. I don't know if that gets me like a better gun. I would need to get after some money for it. Let me go check the other artifact thing and see, like, I don't know why I cared about that artifact because it's not doing anything for me. I don't think it unlocked anything. I have lights. We're finding 3 planter boxes. Rocket launcher. Maybe I want the rocket launcher. Maybe that'll break through the crackstone. So maybe that's the way to like get to the next part is to get the rocket launcher. It seems that does a different type of damage. I can't actually break through whatever that is. Can I? I guess I can collect this water. No, there's an upgrade I think that lets me collect water, but only above ground. Let me see upgrades. Hydro sponge, pick up water above ground only. Yeah, that's not gonna allow me to move the water around. Okay. So I was able to get in here and mine some more of the purple gas stuff. What are we doing here? I mean, I can shoot through this little area here. But I don't know what that buys me. Like, I have a limited amount of space that I can shoot. I could maybe burn my way left here. Okay, there is a little bit more here. There's some more of the upgrade, the magic gas stuff here. So I can mine that for more upgrade gas. I can keep digging around here and kind of like exploring a little bit, I guess. I mean, there's plenty of dirt down here. The problem is moving it around. It's like, it's a huge amount of effort to get... Oh, there's more magic upgrade gas. I think I want to get to the left and get over to that other, like, artifact. So I guess I'm going to try and dig through the ground here and get there. Okay, there's more... Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Oh, there's a big-ass cave. That's interesting. What is that? Oh, that's going to be lava, isn't it? Okay. That's lava. It looks like I can't dig up from here. There's a lot of bedrock. Maybe I can go left here, though? Okay, so maybe I should have been exploring the map a lot sooner. Okay, I'm blocked there. I don't know if that's... Yeah, that's crackstone. So I do need the... Okay, so there's a lot of the map that's blocked off by crackstone, so I need to get like 3,000 more gold and get the rocket launcher, it looks like, to progress. So, I mean, I have infrastructure to sort gold from sand. The problems right now are I don't have a lot of water left. And moving the sand around is a giant pain in the ass. What can I say here? I feel like I've understood what the developer's going for. There's some interesting ideas here. It's definitely got like an upgrade path. It's got an automation path. I would say it's a little difficult to use, especially in the early game. Like games like Satisfactory, right? You get in there and like after 2 minutes, you understand how to build everything. This is a little bit more obtuse and a little bit more finicky. And the slow movement is sort of unnecessary. It's a real impediment to enjoying the game. But I do like the ideas here. They're pretty interesting. So I'm completely out of soil here, which is a big problem. Can I... Yeah, this is all... There's nowhere for me to get soil right now except... I'd have to somehow navigate it all the way through here, which feels like an enormous pain in the ass. I don't think I have another place to get more soil. I mean, I could maybe move some up here. Somehow? Let me take a look in here and remind myself what I have. So there's crackstone there, right? And then where's all my sand right now? There's some soil down here, so we could set up some systems to like grab some of this. The problem is we're gonna run out of water eventually, but like, all right, let's see if I can start hollowing some of this out to get more sand. Like, there's not even that much here. I guess if we go all the way down, there's a decent amount. There's some upgrade stuff here too. Running out of water is going to be a problem for me eventually. That big reservoir is like 3/4 drained. See, okay, now it's all dropping down even further. Okay. So if we can get a huge amount of it, then it might be worth building whatever's necessary to move it. Feels okay, so it feels like that's the bottom. That's everything we can do, right? So that's all the sand that's available here. Okay. Excuse me. Let's see about... All right, so if I go into conveyor belts and we move it all this way, right? And then we have... Okay, so... Then I want the launcher. And I want to do something like... I'm going to start with something like this, I think. Okay, so I am going to need to destroy you. No. Okay, that's going to start moving sand onto the existing production line. This will quickly eat through all of this, though, which means I need to come down here and start moving some of it, like, up as much as I can. Let me get another conveyor belt here. Go like that, as far as we can. And then, let's see. So now I have to manually move this stuff out of the way. Okay. All right. And then I need a launcher here. Something like that. And then another conveyor belt going over here. And then a launcher going like this. And then a conveyor belt. Oh, that's wrong. Where's the conveyor belt? 4? Like, I need as much as I can get here. Okay, it looks like that's never going to work. I might be better off getting a higher launcher here. Yeah, we can go like this. And then build like the last conveyor here. Gonna empty this stuff out. That one's going the wrong way, so let's put it this way. All right, that should move most of this sand onto this conveyor, I think. That's kind of the best I can do to get sand involved. Distractic says, this reminds me of Cortex Command, side-scroller mining, lots of shooty fortress stuff. I've never played that, but I'm sure you're right. The conveyors are not moving things very quickly, unfortunately. Oh, is this blocked? There's moss here. Okay, hold on. Let me burn off the moss. All right, that should get things moving a little bit better. Okay. All right, so now we've got sand heading up. Let's just check the whole pathway here. Okay, this looks like it's working. The major problem here is that all of this slag has built up. Let's try and get rid of some of that. There's a better way to build this so that the slag gets filtered out, but I don't know if I want to rebuild this. You know what? All right, let's try rebuilding this. Let's just stop the production line here and see if we can rebuild it. So let's rebuild the shakers. Let me clear off all the slag and stuff first. What is that? Burnt slag can go here. Wet sand can go in here. Gold can go into the gold container. More slag goes here. You gotta like, it's kind of annoying. You gotta go pixel by pixel here a little bit. Slag, sand, slag, wet sand. Okay. So, let me rebuild this now. And the idea here is going to be different. So, I want, okay, I do want to block this sand from falling here. Let me get a block like this. I just want it, yeah, I want a little bit of a blockage there. There we go. That's fine. That can work. Okay. So, all right. I do want the launcher to come up to the top, right? And it's going to kick off sand and wet sand, and that's going to go onto a shaker, right? Right. So we have a shaker here. So the shaker shakes, and then the slag builds up on top and falls diagonally. So then we want to filter that blocks slag and allows everything else through. And that should be here. Right? And those go like this. So all the slag gets moved off. Everything else falls through. And then under these, then we have the next set of... Does this work? Hold on. So then I have a shaker here. No, so I need it to be way more vertical, it looks like, for this to work. Okay. So we may want to lower the gold collection here. Yeah, I think we do. We want to lower it quite a bit. So I want the gold collection to be all the way down here. Basically. I can do that. Okay. Let's do like that. And then... I'm not sure if these take up more or less space, but... Alright, let's do this for now. I think it takes up about the same space. Alright, so... we have the shaker. Then we have our filter that blocks slag. Right? So that builds up on top... and slides forward, and we want to, yeah, we want to go down by 1. Okay, so it's down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And I think that's the most I can do. And then I go and get my shakers, right? So you're letting everything except slag fall through. So shaker, 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 shaker. And then, so all our gold's going to be falling into this area. I think. We'll have to test this out and see if it works, I guess. Move the gold. Finish the blocks. So the last shaker... Everything on here should be slag, right? And then... the remaining slag I just conveyor belt over here. And it enters the filtering process. I think. Okay, let me reconnect this and see if this works as I hope. So the goal is that I don't get this covered in slag all the time. Instead, it's constantly working the way it's intended to. The other thing I need is... I need to block the the thrower so that everything falls correctly. All right, and then I put in the remaining elevators, right? Yeah, connect everything up. Okay, let's see how this works. So the shaker starts shaking, right? We get gold coming down. I'm getting something else here. I'm getting regular... Now, why am I getting regular sand? Oh, it's falling out. It's not... Okay. In that case, I need this to go higher. And then I think... Okay, there's some regular sand. Why isn't it... Hold on. Something... Okay, I did something wrong. Let me get rid of all this sand. So are the shakers not shaking properly, or what? I think I might have built this wrong somehow. Let me get rid of these and we'll try this again. Get rid of all the sand. There's wet sand. We'll collect that up. Regular sand and then gold. Okay. That boundary wall is a slightly different color near the bottom. Yeah, that's because it's locked into the bedrock, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so I want a shaker here, right? I want a shaker. I think that might be going the wrong way. Hold on. Is there a, does it have a direction? Yeah, it does have a direction. Okay. So if I put a piece of... Now we don't want regular sand, we want wet sand, but... Okay, so if I put a piece of wet sand here... Yeah, the gold falls through. The slag's on the top, right? Okay. So that much is right. Then, as it falls through, I want it to carry the slag over and away. So then I had to filter block slag, right? So this goes like this and carries the slag away. Everything else falls through, and then I have another shaker, right? So I want a shaker here. And okay, part of the problem is, how do I get it to aim left instead of... I have to keep like making a second one to get it to work correctly. It seems like it's automatically popping it to the left. Shift reverse direction. V, show number of blocks. R, switch build mode. Yeah, I can't quite get it to work right without building a second one. So I'm just gonna have to do it like that. Is there a copy button? Controls. Copy C. Okay. So if I want this, I can see and then go like, no, okay, that, why didn't that work? Oh, do I have to, what? How does copy work then? I'm holding C. That doesn't do it. Is it a selection? All right, C doesn't work, which is annoying. Let me get... All right, so I guess I go filter slag. Like this. And then I go... shaker. Underneath, like that. Delete. Filter slag. Shaker. Underneath. Filter slag. Oh, that's going the wrong way again. Hold on. damn it. That's really annoying. Shaker like this, then delete, then filter slag like so. Okay, then shaker like so, delete, filter slag. Do these all look correct? All right, let me see if this much works, right? Let's so part of the problem we have now is we don't have enough water, and all we're getting is regular sand. But I'll live with it for now. Let me manually place some wet sand here. Shaker makes gold. The slag. Okay, more wet sand coming out. All right, we'll just throw more wet sand up there. Slag gets moved to the left. Wet sand keeps coming up, right? Assuming that's working. Okay, it looks like it is moving the slag away correctly on all three of these layers. Okay, why is this letting through, allow through everything except, right, so I need one more shaker here. Okay, so the last one, I can't have it filtered that way. Everything else just needs to go out. So it doesn't build up sand here. All right, hold on. So then I want one more shaker here. Maybe three, maybe two like that. And then I want just a regular... Well, no, I can have one more shaker there. And then I can delete that. So everything except gold. Gold falls through. Everything else goes along here. These last ones shouldn't get clogged, I wouldn't think. So let's turn this back on and see if it works now. Okay. Maybe build an ice stairs. Maybe. Okay. It's letting gold through. Now, the regular sand should just shake off and then get moved back through the cycle. Let's see. How am I going to do this? I need more water. Yeah, I can't really drop the sand into the water. There's like a little bit I can do like this. I'm almost out of water here is the problem. So that's my nice. Okay, so the regular sand is going through here. Okay, so part of this is working, right? I'm not having to deal with this getting too clogged. Once I get more water in here, that should fix that problem too. So now my problem is I need a way to carry water around. Gun 2 for crackstone. Yeah, I need 2,000 I think for that. So this is making me money, but the problem is you have to set all this up and then let it run for a while. Right? So you can see in the upper left, I'm currently sitting at $600. And the upgrade, okay, I kind of need this. Pick up water above ground. All right. Does that mean I can pick this up? Okay, good. There we go. That's not good enough. We're going to eat through all this water, but at least I can get started on fixing some of this dry sand. Then I got to go hunt for water somehow and like pipe it around. There was an upgrade for pipes too, I think. No, that's research. So in order to get the rocket launcher, I need $3,000. This helps a little bit. Right? This helps a little bit. Now there's plenty of water in here. I just don't think it's going to let me pick it up. Yeah, see, it's above ground only. So I think I would need to get into pipes to move all this water around, and I'd have to build like a giant pipe network. Ugh. So I'd have to spend the 2,000 to get pipes, and then there's a question of if I can even get it out of here. Like this is blocked, so how would I get a pipe into that? You know what I mean? And I can only move water above ground. So at some point I need to get into piping, I guess, but I don't know if I want to do that now. Also super slow right now. Let me see. I can turn this into something, but I don't need to right now, so that's fine. Where is there more water? Is there any water near the surface that I can grab up and move around? No, I don't think so. Like, it's a pretty narrow map. There's not that much to work with. So my other alternative is to go down to where there is water and build another entire contraption, which I also don't really want to do. I don't know that I have a choice here. Let me get all the regular sand out of here into the water. Yeah, the selection mechanic isn't super easy to deal with either. Like, we're almost out. Yeah, see, now we're completely out of water. I can move the sand away from the... I can move the sand away from the conveyor belt to try and fix up some of this, get a little bit more gold going. Problem is, sand doesn't get shaken into gold. Only wet sand gets shaken into gold. What do I have going on down here? See, this is cycling more regular sand through. See if I can get rid of some of this regular sand. Yeah, this is not... I don't have enough water now. There's water there. It counts as underground, so I can't... Yeah, I can't get my hands on that water without... Maybe with pipes, but I've only got 633. I mean, what do I do here? I wish I could filter out the regular sand without having to click on individual pixels. Like, let me get some of this sand away from here. That should help me out a little bit. Let's do something like that and stop these guys from falling a little bit more. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like, there's just not enough resources on the map for me at the moment. It's all locked away at the moment. We're not even getting that much money. Like, it's only gone up by a little bit here. Ugh. Yeah, there's not enough water on the map for me. So I'm gonna have to, like, go down here and make another money setup, I guess. Like, I can't use that water at all. I can't access that. Like, where is there water that I can use? I guess I could dig around in here. Like, there's some water there, I suppose. There's like a tiny little bit there, but that's not really enough to be worth setting up a whole thing. I need like a big ass reservoir of water. And it's all like gone. There's none on the map. There's tons of sand here. I guess we have the lava. I need like that much water from somewhere. All right, let me just start digging. Maybe we can find our way to a big pool of water underground. Or something. Like, I'm stuck right now. There's no water on the map, so I can't do anything. I guess I could melt this ice. Maybe turn that into water. Yeah, there's a fair amount of snow here. I suppose I should look at that. Let me switch to the... Let me switch to the flamethrower here. Maybe we can make ourselves some water. It's turning into steam right now. Steam interacts with sky to create rain. So I have to... I have to release... I guess it won't cool down and condense until it gets to the sky. So I kind of need to burn all this snow. All this ice. Oh, I found something. And then dig it away to the surface so it can all... Like, this is snow, interacts with fire, right? That's turning into steam. Yeah, I should blow up the ice first and then melt it, I think. Maybe this can work. Hold on. All right. Maybe this can work. So let me dig this a hole to the surface. We'll let all the steam out, maybe. And if it rains, maybe it'll fill my reservoir. Can I get you up to the surface? Maybe. No, see, I'm blocked by the bedrock now. Like, what do I do with all this steam? How do I get the steam out? Hold on. There's more ice over here, it looks like. All right, maybe this is a steam pathway? It does look like that actually could get out. Hold on. Maybe I can get the steam all to go over here. Like, as long as I burn it to the left. That's trying to get out. Can I let it out that way? There we go. Okay. That's gonna let some steam out. And then hopefully it rains over the reservoir? Maybe that's why the reservoir and the snow are all... and this, like, pre-built steam channel are all here. There's a bunch of steam over here that I can't move. Let me see about... maybe I can, move the steam? Yeah, I can kind of move the steam. Now, what is this doing? Yeah, steam. Okay. So the vacuum can sort of move the steam behind me. Try and move it where I want it. So I'm burning the water, I guess, to make steam to travel up. Boy, this is complicated, man. Oh, look at... oh, hold on. That's... is that steam or... no, that's water. Okay, there's a big pool of water here that I could maybe use somehow. It's trapped in all this bedrock. I guess I could just steam it. I could sit here and steam it with the flamethrower. It should all travel up, right? Okay, that looks like it's all going to go up into the sky and then start raining and fill my reservoir. Maybe this is the way to do it. Like, there's a good steam channel there for me, so... let me just steam all this water. See if I can get it to travel to the surface. Build a conveyor as you grow? Maybe. I don't know how much we can control this, but I like that there was a path that came out right near my, my reservoir. So maybe this will work if we steam all this water. I guess I should... well, I know. I'm just going to stick here and steam it all. And we'll see where see what happens with it. There was a little bit of water near the surface that I maybe could have steamed as well. Oh, maybe all that trapped water in the reservoir I can hit with the flamethrower. I didn't think about that as a method for like moving it to turn it into steam first. Let's see what this does. Okay, so all of that should be traveling to the surface, right? And then what is it doing once it gets to the surface? It's eventually making its way out. And then... that's steam. Okay. So as the steam goes up, then water starts to fall? And this is good. Okay, it's falling on my reservoir. Okay, it's sort of working. All right. So now all I gotta do is move all my normal sand into the wet sand. Okay. This should increase our throughput of, this should improve our throughput of gold here, I would think. Okay, it does look like this is being blocked by the steam. Yeah, it's currently being blocked by the steam. Okay. So that's a bit of a problem. Let me vacuum up the steam and get that to move along. Kind of get rid of the steam this way. That's the steam. I don't quite understand what's happening here. Which part? The, like, bright part is the steam, right? The vacuum, I don't think, is working quite the way I want it to. Oh, I physically have to touch it with the vacuum? Okay. I might just need to let it out like that and then rebuild. Oh, I can move the steam manually. Oh, okay. And get rid of the steam that way. Okay. So then I need to put the conveyor back. Okay. I can manually get rid of some of this steam like this. Looks like some of the water collected over here. Okay, this is too much water now. Now I'm complaining about too much water, right? Okay. I do need to clean out all this steam, get it into the sky, turning into water. It's a little... I do wish you had like a bigger... Okay, looks like we got rid of all the steam, so the system's back to working as intended now. The only problem is we got too much water. Are we starting to make... We're starting to make gold again. Okay, that's good. Well, that's sort of good. We've got too much water now. I can't dig this out anymore. Alright, let me move this wet sand over here to free up a little bit of space up top. One way I can kind of manage the water a little bit. I guess I released too much snow and ice and steam and stuff. Okay, that's a little bit better. Man, it is a lot of work to get this all set up and, like, functioning. You gotta move a lot of stuff around to make this happen. Okay, we gotta clean up the rest of this, sand. Looks like I lost a little bit of gold here as well. And now this isn't quite working as intended. What is that? Slag? And then wet sand. Got some gold here. Wet sand. Okay. So there's a little bit of something making it through here. I think it's falling out the sides of the elevator. Or falling back down. Let me make one more conveyor belt here, I think. Like this. No, that stops the gold from falling. That doesn't work. Okay, maybe we go like this. Maybe that works. Okay, we've kind of cleaned this up. It's starting to make money again. We're over 1,000, so we might be able to get the bazooka if this keeps working. I need to go burn my slag in a minute. There's a little bit of water lying around that I can grab in these places to refill the reservoir here. If I need it. What is this? Slag? Let's gather up that. Get rid of that. Let's keep working on cleaning up the rest of this dry sand. Getting it wet. Okay, we've almost got all the sand nice and wet. which means we're going to need more dry sand soon to dump in here from somewhere. Okay, this appears to be largely working the way I intended. We're mostly getting gold and a little bit... I'm not sure which pieces... I think it's thing falling off to the right. I think it's wet sand falling off to the right, but okay, it is building gold for us, so that's good. Let me go burn some slag here. I need to keep on top of this as well. Man, you got, like, you kind of automate things, but there's a lot of manual work you got to do still. I'm gonna keep burning slag here. Okay, that's looking decent. So when we're ready to move on to burn slag, there's a giant collection of it here, so we can get, I believe, more gold from that. And then I believe there's also like spores that come from it. But that's kind of why I don't want to set it up yet. I don't want to deal with whatever spores end up being. So I'm a little reluctant to go get the gold out of that. I mean, I suppose I can just move this water and then we can alter how this works, right? We can build this up like this a little bit. That's fine. And then we can this all can go away. Like, I don't need this anymore. What am I doing? Yeah, I don't need any of that anymore. So that can all go. Then we can have like a spore a spore collection thing here. It probably doesn't need to be that big. Just something like this. Right? And then we learned some stuff over here. So maybe we'll get into this now. So I'm going to need the kinetic slag press, right? Drop burnt slag on the kinetic slag press from a great height to refine it into golden spores. Okay. From a great height, huh? All right, so... I see. So if we drop it there, then it'll turn into golden spores. So then we can take a filter that blocks gold and pushes it over here, right? We can drop that into another collection box of some sort. Something like that is fine, I guess. So that's going to collect gold, which is moved along here, right? Let's put another wall up to make sure everything goes where we think it's going. Let's put another kinetic slag press here. Like that. Let's put another block barrier here. And then I guess we just lift the burnt slag up and drop it here. I guess that's all we have to do. So how do I want to do that? I guess it doesn't matter. We just put a conveyor belt like this. And then we put a lift that draws from the slag. I probably want to draw from like right here. I want to make sure it only lifts. All right, so let's do this. Let's do another filter here that blocks burnt slag, right? So we'll put that here. So it'll, anything that's not burnt slag falls through again, right? Then we have a little collection area for the burnt slag up here to make sure it's pure. Should be pretty narrow. Right, and then we just have a conveyor belt, or a launcher that takes it up and blows it this way, right? And then we continue you up to make sure this is all contained and working correctly. I need that, and then I need the launcher here to finish. Then we get this. Okay. So then we grab a launcher from here, take it up like this. Anything that isn't burnt slag falls through again. I think maybe that's a little too close. Anything that isn't burnt slag. So if we get like little bits of something else. But this should only be burnt slag here now. It gets set up here. It gets run across. Falls into the kinetic thing. All the gold gets moved over here. And then whatever the spores are, they drop there. I think that's what we want. Let's take a watch. Let's see if this works. Yep, there's some gold. Okay. I guess this is working. And then the other thing we can do, just to speed this up a little bit or make sure it's working all the way, is we can do something like this. And as that falls below, I guess... honestly, that should probably be enough. The rest of this should just fall where I want it to. We might want to do something like this. Like halfway, do another one. Like that. That should push it all over here. Okay, yeah, that's starting to work quite well. All right. Now I'm worried that it's gonna run out of space here. So if it's gonna build up this way, I actually want this to be more of like a pyramid shape, I guess. Oh, and here's the spores filling up. That's filling up kind of fast too. I mean, not that fast. We only have that much slag, so it should be okay. Okay. That feels pretty good. I guess I had way too much of the kinetic slag droppers over here. They're just taking up way too much space, but this is building a large amount of the spores and the gold for me. It's going to burn through all that slag real fast. Now, what happened over here? We got blocked. I didn't burn enough of my slag, I guess. Let's burn this off. Yeah, we built up a massive amount of gold. We've almost got the 3,000 for the bazooka. So let's get this running again while our slag gets turned into gold, or our burnt slag gets turned into golden spores. Okay. Not exactly sure why this is blocked, but... I guess... why isn't... like, something's not working there. I think there's something wrong with... I think there's something wrong with the conveyor here. I can't zoom in, so I can't quite tell. It looks like there's something wrong here, but I'm not sure what. Let's move the burnt slag. So what was this supposed to do? This is supposed to move the regular... okay, so we got too much wet sand, I think. I gotta move that back in here. Like, yeah, this got backed up somehow. Not exactly sure what's going on. Something's quite wrong here. Move the wet sand back into the reservoir here real quick. Oh, I gotta do it manually. Okay. Wait a minute. Maybe I can do this with the vacuum here. Let me just get rid of all this stuff. Isn't it supposed to? Yeah, there we go. Okay. This vacuum could be much better than it is. It's very underwhelming, to be honest. You kind of gotta, like, go back and forth. Aim it at the ground and just, like, keep going over the same areas again and again. Alright, so that gets rid of some of it. I think the problem is here. I think that should fix it. I guess I need more gold storage here, or yeah, no, it's time to spend some of this gold, right? This is starting to fill up too, which is a little concerning. Yeah, both of these are filling up. We got too much gold. All right, so let's spend some gold. Research for guns 2 gets me the rocket launcher. There we go. Okay. And then what do I have left? 1,300? I could get lights, drones, tools. What is guns 3? Not available in demo. Unlocks cryo blaster to freeze water and solidify lava. That could be interesting. Do I want that, or do I want pipes? Pipes, pumps, and liquid vents. Lights. Refining 3. Planter boxes. I probably want planter boxes to use all these spores next, I guess. If you leave some slag unburnt, maybe it'll keep going automatically. I think the problem was I had something weird happen with the conveyor belt here. It wasn't properly moving things. Anyway, we're doing all right now. We're out of wet sand is the next problem. But we managed to get the rocket launcher, which is what matters. So let's go back and blow through this cracked core, or whatever it's called, and get this second artifact to see what that's all about. Yeah, I could flame through here or use the cryo blaster through here if I had it to turn this into ice or steam. Yeah, I actually do wonder, what is the purpose of this? It looks like this is some sort of like vent for steam, and then it goes up there and into the atmosphere. Let me just like burn a little bit of it and see if it's meant to react that way. Yeah, so the steam particles go through. Can they exit into the atmosphere? They can. Okay, it almost looks like an engine, right? Like it could drive. It kind of looks like it could be a turbine of sorts. Okay, there's some boiling water. What is that? Infinite water? I don't know what the deal with that is. I don't know where it refilled from. But we could empty this whole thing into steam and have it rain. So that I didn't realize how that worked. I don't think I had the flamethrower at the first time that I came here. So I want to get down here and get through this crackstone and see about what the next part of this is. All right. Rocket launcher. Okay. Now, okay, it looks like there's a respawn timer on the rocket launcher, but it doesn't, yeah, okay, there's the second artifact. Okay, congratulations, you've reached the end of the demo. Thank you for playing. You continue exploring and building in the world, but there won't be any more story content or artifacts to find in this version. I don't know that I would call that story content. Finding a magical what's-it with no text or story whatsoever is not what I would call story content, but there you go. There's the demo for Sandustry. It's got some interesting systems, an interesting upgrade path. I don't know if it's a long game. It feels like I got through like It feels like there was a lot. I got slowed down by the learning process, but once some things clicked, like, oh, I can turn water into steam, that's how I get more water. Like, I feel like there's a learning process there, but after you kind of make those connections, then you can move kind of quickly. I do like the idea of building automation. I mean, it's one of my favorite genres. This one's a little bit clunky. It's a little bit hard to get working early. It feels like it's quite technical, quite like demanding of an automation system, but you do have the opportunities to kind of make it work there. It's a very interesting demo. I enjoyed my time with that. I mean, I played it for 2.5 hours, which is one of my longest streams. Probably at the upper end of the longest stream I'll ever do is like 2.5 hours. But I'm going to call it there. I enjoyed the demo. If you guys liked this game, make sure to go wishlist it on Steam. Actually, I think it's out now. I don't think it's, I think it's been released. So check it out on Steam either way. And regardless, thanks very much for stopping by. Interfacer asked Factorio, have you played it? I've tried it. I could not get into it. I know it's right up my alley, but something about it, I just can't get into it, man. I played Satisfactory. I did like 3 playthroughs before it released in 1.0, and then we did stream it on the channel. I had a great time with Satisfactory. I know Factorio has the same ideas. It's similar. It's, you know, the main bus or whatever. I just could not quite get into it. It's like, I don't know if it's the graphics or the top-down perspective or what, but I did give it a try a couple times. Wish there was a condenser. Demos always feel short. Keep wanting more. This is a pretty meaty demo. I mean, there's, you know, there's more here. There's more upgrades that I could be researching. I can get into pipes. I could try out planter boxes with the spores. Drones tools are available. Looks like Guns 3 is not. So there's some limits here. I don't know how much more of this would be available out of the demo. I probably should have taken that sooner to go faster. Weapons. So now there's stuff for the rocket launcher. It looks like there's a lot more to see in the demo. Not a lot more. It looks like there's some more to see in the demo. And you guys could see if you could get to that second artifact faster than me. It took me 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 20 minutes. So, I mean, demos like this is always fun to play yourself. It's fun to watch other people play to get a feel for what the game is. And quite often I found a good demo will get me to wishlist or buy the game. We played the Dispatch demo 5 or 6 days ago. I instantly wishlisted it, and I'm going to buy that as soon as it releases. I'm very much looking forward to that. This game feels pretty good, but it's not quite got enough for me to go buy it and play it. I like the automation systems. I like the pixel physics system. I like, there's a lot of interesting ideas here, but there's no real story. I need a narrative in a game. Even Satisfactory, like, if I had a criticism about Satisfactory is that there's not enough information. Ada talks to you and gives you enough, like, motivation and goals and direction that I could accept it. And there was, you know, the whole, like, you know, mysteries of the world, and, you know, the Ada going mad and talking to the planet and all that stuff. Like, there was a light story element wrapped around all the automation. It was enough for me. This game has nothing. Like, there's not even, like, flavor text on the artifact. So for me, this isn't quite a buy, but I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. I hope you enjoyed the demo and saw something that you liked if you wanted to go get it. Either way, Interfacer Distractions Prime, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks to anybody else watching the VOD in the future. We'll be back later today with some XCOM 2 and back with another demo tomorrow. It looks like the next demo is... Hold on, I gotta get to my desktop here. How do I do that? Now this thing's in full screen mode. Oh, I don't need to save here. Whatever. Save the autosave. Let me exit this. So you guys are going to get a black screen here. I've got your big, cute Monster Farm demo scheduled for tomorrow. So I hope you guys are interested in that. Anyway, that's it for today, or for this morning. We'll be back later with XCOM 2. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.